Hey, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co., and this is the 2025 Year in Review. I have my regular week in review that goes up every Saturday, and I generally have my month in review, although towards the last few months of last year it got a little inconsistent. Hopefully I bring it back, we'll see. But this is the 2025 Year in Review. I'll be going over some general stats, information, just an assortment of things across this past year. Some of the stats around the games I've played, some of the stats around the channel in general, some of the things around, what else is there? My resolutions for the year, a variety of things, timestamps to everything down below. But I'm going to go ahead and shout out to AllPlay for being a channel sponsor. I'll actually be talking about them more when I get into some of the channel statistics, so we'll talk about them a bit later into this video, but thank you to AllPlay for being a channel sponsor. But with that, let's go ahead and dive into my year in review, starting off with some general stats around the games I've played. I played 1,374 games last year, or at least, as I always say, logged games. The amount of games I play, I generally estimate, I used to say is around 10% higher, like, I estimated that I logged 90% of my plays. The past year, I definitely was down on that. I mean, I still managed to earn clips. In 2024, I logged 1,371 games. In 2025, I logged 1,374 games, which is surprisingly close. But again, I do think I logged fewer games this past year. There were a lot of days missed, and I just didn't put as much pressure on myself. Like, if a week went by and I didn't log things, it was what it was. If I came back from a convention and I hadn't taken notes, I just gave in. So I do think, and in fact, I will try, no guarantees, I'll try to throw some various graphs and images up throughout this video when it's relevant, but like there's one graph that may or may not be here, which basically shows that the first 4 months of last year, I played so many more games than the rest of the year. And I don't think it's that I played so many more games, I just think I was very diligent about logging, because a new year, let's get it right this time, let's do it perfectly, and then as the year went on, it trailed down a bit. But again, 1,374 logged plays. I played 442 different games, 295 of which are new to me. That means, again, going by what I logged, which is always going to be the lower end, meaning some degree higher, but it means I played at least 295 new to me games. That's learning 295 games last year. That's a little bit less than a game every day. A few years ago, I did a challenge where I wanted to learn, on average, a game a day. So I wanted to learn 365 new games last year. Well, not last year, a few years ago. And I think I'm going to be trying to do that again. We'll talk about it. I'll be doing a New Year's challenges later at some point in January. I'll be doing a New Year's challenges. We'll get to it then, but I do think a game a day is something I want to do again, because I'm really trying to cut heavily through all of my unplayed games, both review copies and personal copies. I'm trying to really get I'm trying to get a good cycle going. I think I've made progress, but I'm trying to get a better degree of progress. But that also math-wise means if I had 442 different games, 295 of which are new to me, that means 147 of them were games I already knew, games I already played, most likely games from my collection. It's possible I played someone else's copy here and there, or games I didn't own, but most of them are going to be games from my collection. Which means, this goes back, if you've been following my collection management videos, whatever, that's part of why I'm trying to get down to 200 games. Like, if I only played 147 games, different games from my collection, then having 250 to 300 games is just more than I need. Most because board games are my job, I play a lot of new games, more than I otherwise would need to, so 147 games from games I already knew and whatever, owned and all that. I'm trying to get down to 200 for a reason. The year did start off strong, like I said already. I have the first 4 months, you can see a high degree of how much I logged, and then as we hit May, which is when travel started, that's when things started shifting down. And it's not that when I travel I play less games. If anything, I probably play more games when I travel, or at least more games per day, because it's often at conventions and things like that. It's just that the ability to log them, I'm just so chaotically all over the place, it's much harder to be accurate about it. From those, some general other stats, 43% of my plays are 2 players. This does not surprise me. Most of my plays are 2-player. It's easy to do because one other person is the minimum amount of people you need to play a game if you're not playing solo, because rest assured, solo's next. But yeah, one other person is the minimum you need, so I get a lot of plays in at 2 players. Doesn't surprise me. What did surprise me is my second highest player count is 1. I thought 3 was my second highest player count, but 1 was, coming in at 21% of my plays played solo, which is much higher than I would have thought. We have 17% of my plays coming in at 3-player, which again, I would have thought that's a little higher. My most common game group is a 3-player game group. It's myself, Meg, and AP. That's my most common game group, but I have a lot of other people cycling in. And then all other player accounts combined added up to 19%. The vast majority is 4, but then 5, 6, 8, all those player accounts that comprise the last 19%. They are pretty evenly distributed between what days I play games. There's a slight increase on like Saturdays and Sundays on the weekend, which does make sense. Actually, Friday also saw a slight increase, but it's a very, very slight increase. Again, I'll try to throw something up if I remember to do so, but for the most part, it's pretty evenly distributed across the days. Again, this makes sense because playing board games is my job. I do get a lot of plays in during the week, whereas others might see a much higher proportion of their plays on the weekend. And again, I still have some more on the weekend, but just not a lot more. As far as location goes, most of these plays, again, unsurprisingly, are at my own house. By the way, I use BG Stats for all this stuff, so BG Stats is the source data for all this. But 53% of those plays are at my own house, which makes sense. 23% of my plays are online, which is roughly what I would have tracked. I think I usually say around a fifth of my plays is online. I get a lot of BGA, Board Game Arena, plays on in the background, helps me learn new games, play games I already know, play games I already love. I get a lot of plays in that way, so 23% of my plays were online. And then other people's houses were around 15%. There is a breakdown as far as where they go, but like it's just a lot of different places. So 53%, not 53%, what would I say, 15% are other people's houses, and then 9% is coming in from travel, conventions and all that. Basically when I'm not even remotely at someone's house or anything like that, I'm traveling, convention related plays. Outside of that, my top 10 most played games of the year, going in order from least to most. Lost Ruins of Arnak came in with 12 plays, So Clover came in with 13, Faraway came in with 14, the Castles of Burgundy came in with 14 plays, Revive came in with 17 plays, Jungo, which I play a lot with my kids, came in at 21 plays. Shuffleboard, because it's so easy to play and it's set up all the time, got 25 plays. The Fellowship of the Ring, the trick-taking game, came in with 33 plays, much higher than I would have thought, but apparently I've been playing that one a lot. And then we have Trailblazers, unsurprisingly, coming in at second place with 53 plays, and My City coming in with 109 plays. None of this is surprising to me. If anything, I think the only one that surprises me is Castles. I would have thought I played more this year, but like I feel like I'm regularly playing Castles. And then again, 14 plays is roughly a play a month, but I feel I'm playing it more frequently than that. That's the only one that kind of surprised for me. The rest of these kind of track with things I already knew. Outside of that, that kind of covers my board game statistics. As far as the channel goes, the channel, I've made some progress on, well, my collection I got down to 200, which I've talked about, but I don't know the official number it started at. I just know I had a lot more, and I got rid of a lot of games this year. I was probably closer to around 270 to 300, and I got it down to 200 games by being very, very, very purge heavy. I was really trying to get to a manageable number. As much as I love a lot of games, the games I have time to actually prioritize, I want to choose the absolute best of the best, which means I've got rid of a lot of games that I thoroughly enjoy. Like Apiary is so hard. It's so hard. I mean, that's just one random one, but like that's just a great game that it's hard. Someone said I should do a video of my top 100 games. Like, you know, I do the top 100 series, top 100 games of all time. I should also do a top 100 games of all time of games that aren't in my collection. And I am debating doing that. Like, if I specifically did a top 100, but games that I don't own, because the top 100 is reserved to games I do own for the most part. It's changing every year, but it's reserved to the games I own. And I think I will do that. It's still going to be hard to figure out because like something like Gloomhaven, which I've talked about, Gloomhaven always has that challenge of I've gotten so many hundreds of hours of joy from it, but it has gone down for me and I don't really want to play Gloomhaven right now. So do I track that? I don't know, because it's not really necessarily a top 100 games of all time, period, meaning not as of a year. It's really just top 100 games I don't own. So I think Gloomhaven probably wouldn't make the cut, or at least wouldn't be high up. It might be lower down, maybe, we'll see. But there are a lot of games that I enjoy and appreciate and would recommend, and I think I probably will do a top 100 games that I don't own, and I might reserve that for a mid-year series. Maybe. We'll see. I'm intrigued by the idea. I like the idea of giving shoutouts and love to games that have left my collection. Games like Apiary, Tigris and Euphrates. So many amazing, incredible experiences. Outside of that, outside of the collection itself, my review backlog, and don't judge me here, my review backlog at the beginning of 2025 started as 190 games that were my backlog to review. This is not for lack of reviewing games. Reviews go up every single week. I review a lot of games every single year. It's just the reality is there are a lot of games coming in, and I'm not always as responsible as I should be at saying no to things. I say no to a lot of things, but I haven't always managed how much I'm saying yes versus how much I'm getting done. And this past year, 2025, I made a big effort to really start trying to manage that my goal is to constantly have that number going down. And then what's deceiving is sometimes I get the number very low, and then suddenly I come back from Gen Con and it bumps up by 50 games. So I really need to manage that number, and that was a big goal for me this year. I have gotten my review backlog down from 190 games down to 144 games in my review backlog. To be clear, this does not mean that I reviewed 56 games. This means that I reviewed a whole bunch of games, and even though more games were coming in, I got it down by 56 games despite that, because I've reviewed hundreds of games this year, and I was able to get that number down by just managing how much I'm getting done versus how much is coming in. I do want to end 2026. I want to end, we'll talk within resolutions, I want to end 2026 by getting it down to at least 100 or fewer. I think 50 is my kind of target number, like long term, because there's always going to be things coming in and going out. You're never going to be able to perfectly do it, but I do want to get it down to at least 100 this next year, and then hopefully down to 50 the year after. Again, this always involves playing things constantly, reviewing things constantly, and things coming in, but I'd love to make progress on that. As far as the channel numbers and statistics go, this is a pretty good year, all things considered, although numbers are still down from prior years. We'll talk about that soon. But I had 4.6 million views in 2025. It's a large number. 473,631 hours of collective watch time. That's 54 years of watching. 54 years were spent watching my videos in 2025, which is an astounding number, and I'm tremendously grateful for every single one of you who has been a part of that. 61 million impressions, which this is where YouTube counts an impression, is if my video was shown to somebody in a way that they could have clicked on it, whether they chose to or not. 61 million impressions. It's a number that I don't usually think of as being that impressive, but I was actually watching Big Pasty, if you've been watching him, I think it's Big Pasty, I think that's the channel name. He was talking about impressions and the nature of if you give someone a review copy, it's not just the views you get, it's just constantly showing up in people's algorithms on the sidebars, and so they see a game just constantly there. And it really made me think that there is a degree, whether the video is watched or not, there is a degree of marketing aspect of 61 million people have seen my videos pop up in different ways, and then 4.6 million of those turned into views. That's how that's how those numbers work. There were 738 videos added to the channel in 2025. That's an average of 14.19 videos per week. I regularly say I do 14 to 15 videos per week, and the numbers bear out. It's 14.19 videos per week in 2025. All these numbers are fantastic, and I'm tremendously proud of them. They are down year over year, which makes sense to a certain degree. Like the channel, this is a longer conversation I'll do some other time, probably, but effectively, the highest degree of growth in the channel was probably around a year or two ago, and then from there it's always a constant balance of trying to have the content that brings people in, while also you're constantly dealing with that loss of excitement of people who have gotten to know your channel, stop watching because over time, I mean, I put out 14 videos a week. Some people are going to click away because they just can't keep up with it all. It's why I'm constantly amazed, like with the Dice Tower and the numbers they're able to achieve. They're able to do so while being a channel that's been around for 15 years. They're able to do so while putting out nearly twice the videos I do. I think it's around twice the videos I do. And despite all that, they're able to pull in the audience and the views and the engagement that they do. They are the king of the space for a reason. Outside of that, as far as the channel goes, it's a good time to talk about the AllPlay sponsorship. In 2025, I managed to get a sponsorship with AllPlay. This is something that's going to be starting off in 2026. It started in 2025, the last tail end, but it's effectively a 2026 sponsorship, and we'll see how it goes. It's an interesting opportunity to do something I've never done before, because while the channel has engaged with sponsored content, we've never done a full sponsorship, a kind of engagement with another company, and AllPlay is the first time that we've done so. This does mean that all the videos are going to start with various shoutouts to AllPlay about things they do. And the reason I was willing to do it is because when choosing a channel sponsor, I mean, money is obviously a factor, but despite money, like, I turn down, I'll probably do a separate video about money at some point, but like, I turn down things that get me money. That's not, I've gotten a lot of sponsorship opportunities for a variety of things, and if I don't feel that I can talk about the product passionately or correctly, I try to say no to those things because, listen, I'm not going to sit there and tell you that, what's that site? What's that learning site that people, I don't know. There's a lot of sponsorship opportunities out there, but I'm not going to sit there and tell you that Raycon earbuds are the best earbuds you've ever seen, because I've used Raycons. I like them. I prefer my Apple earbuds. I don't mind talking about Raycon. They're actually pretty good, and I still have a pair, but they're not like the best ones you've ever seen. There's a lot of general sponsorship things you've seen from various channels they're talking about. I'm not going to tell you about NordVPN, because I've used various VPNs, and I don't use them actively. I bought a 3-year 3-year thing to NordVPN once, and then here and there I turn it on, and most of the time I forget to use it, and I have not bothered renewing it when the 3 years was up. Granted, I paid a few bucks a month, it wasn't a lot, but I got barely any value from that. There's a lot of things I just don't care enough about, and I'm not going to tell you something's good if it isn't. I'm not going to try to shout out a product I don't believe in. So choosing a channel sponsor, someone who's going to be in every single video, is an important thing. And AllPlay manages to check a lot of boxes that I would want in a channel sponsor. First of all, they do a bunch of things. This is not me talking about a single game every single video, because that would be frankly nauseating. I do 14 videos a week. I don't want to be constantly saying the same thing. But AllPlay does have things from the shelves you see behind me, to tables, to bags, to playmats, to a variety of games. They do 3 to 4 crowdfunding campaigns a year, which means I can constantly be rotating the new thing, like Mountain Goes Legacy. That's what's coming up now. But there's going to be something else later, and there's always new games that are put out. And the fact that they have a content that, well, they have products that I use, believe in, and like I like these shelves a lot. I'll be doing a full review on them at some point, but I like the things that they put out. Their board game bags are the things I use. There's an active board game tables because I got it that long ago, playmat on the table. Like, that should give you some context. The playmat I have from AllPlay is from when they were called BoardGameTables.com. I still have it and I still use it. Nearly everything they put out is a product that I believe in to some extent. Do I like all of their games? Absolutely not. There are a handful of their games that I did not enjoy. Most of their games I think are pretty good, and then the question from there is the range of how good they are. Some of their games are absolutely incredible, in my top 100 games of all time. Others are great games that are good for an audience, and I'll enjoy them, but they might not be games that last with me, but I still believe in what they put out. So AllPlay has been an easy channel sponsor. That was something that was good for me to say yes to, because it does help bring in the revenue for the channel, to keep the channel going and motivated and all that stuff, while doing so in a way that I can talk about the things without feeling like I'm shilling some product that I don't believe in or care about. I genuinely think that AllPlay is a fantastic company with fantastic products, and it's why I'm happy to have them as a channel sponsor. Which brings us to the last category, board game resolutions. Like I said already, I'll probably do a video on board game resolutions for 2026, or my resolutions, which may or may not be board game related, but I thought this is a good time to go over how 2025's resolutions went, because some of them I knocked out of the park, others less so. Let's go through them in a rough order. The first one was there were 35 games I wanted to play in 2025. I specifically said I wanted to get to 30 of those 35 games. These are just games I wanted to table, and I put together a bunch of videos on those, and I got to 29 out of those 30, meaning it's 35, but I wanted to get to at least 30. I got to 29. Honestly, I'm pretty happy with that. It's close enough. I do have a similar thing going for this year already. I'll be doing videos on those as well, and I think I'm already 3 down. It's already, like, what is it right now? I'm filming this January 5th. You'll probably see this video a little later in the month, but I'm filming this January 5th, and I've already played 3 out of the games that I'm trying to table from the 35 that I want to do in 2026. So things went well over there. I'm counting that as a win. 29 out of 30. Again, it's 29 out of 30, which is out of 35. I'm counting that as a win. I do want to do 10 by 10 challenges as well as 12 by 12 video reviews. 10 by 10 challenge is a standard thing. You say, I'm going to play this game 10 times, and then a 12 by 12 video review is the same kind of concept. It's a format I have on the channel. I don't know if I did any 12 by 12 video reviews last year. I wanted to do more of them. I wanted to do more play this, not that. I wanted to engage in more types of formats, and I didn't do this at all. This was a complete failure. I barely tried. I think I probably forgot it even existed and never really looked back to it. Not the way to do things as far as New Year's resolutions go. Complete failure. I wanted to do more chaos streams and or live gameplays. Didn't do that. Live gameplays I actually have kind of changed my mind on. I don't know if I'm super into live gameplays, but I do want to do more chaos streams and or general live content. Again, we'll talk about my resolutions for 2026 in another video, but as far as this was another one where I mostly failed on. I did a few variations on live content at the beginning of the year, but halfway through the year I kind of trailed off of live content entirely. Absolute failure on this one. Did not work. I wanted to drop 10 pounds. I dropped 45 instead. Was it 40? 40. I dropped 40 instead. It's 40 plus, but I haven't gotten to 45 yet. So I've dropped 40 pounds this year instead of the 10 that I was aiming for. I am very happy with that. I am eating better. I'm feeling better. I'm eating more. I am absolutely thrilled with all the food stuff and body stuff. I'm absolutely thrilled with. It's something that I have always struggled with my weight my entire life. I'm either gaining or I'm trying to lose. I'm very happy with how 2025 has gone in that respect. I've done 2 full videos on it. Feel free to check those out. If you are interested in losing weight, I have always struggled with weight loss, and I feel, again, I've lost my weight. I've hit my target numbers. I'm where I want to be, and I'm not changing the way I eat. I'm still eating the same stuff I was eating while losing weight. I have such freedom and control over my diet. I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled. If nothing else, 2025 was a good year for catching up on that. That is something that I've been chasing for years. I mean, I've achieved it my entire life. Again, you can watch other videos. My life's been up and down and up and down, and hopefully this time will be down long term. but you'll see in the next 3-4 years because I'll still be here doing videos. Hopefully. If I get hit by a bus, that's a different category. I want to stop using Facebook as a distraction. I'm about halfway on this one. In general, I think my social media, I did a whole vlog at one point where I talked about my goals. I've seen various levels of success throughout the year on this one. It is not where I want to be. I've definitely improved in the amount that I engage in Facebook, and, well, the next one as well. The next resolution I separated was try to avoid using Reels and Shorts. Again, this is content that is great for being easily distracted and wasting time. In both of these categories, I definitely made progress in 2025, but they're not where I want to be. It's something I'm going to try to focus on again in 2026. I really want to make further progress. The month when I was like off of Facebook and Reels was so good as far as finding focus and just not doom scrolling. Doom scrolling is a thing and I hate it. I found things to replace it, and then the habits fell back in place over time. I want to talk slower in videos. A bit. I don't think I did that one either. Here and there I do a video that's a little bit slower, but as a general basis, I do not talk slower in videos. Maybe it'll be a goal for next year, maybe not. I wanted to read more books. I smashed this one out of the park. Again, as much as I failed in some of these I'm at 50-50 on my resolutions, which is I'm pretty happy with. I wanted to read more books, and I definitely did that. Reading books is something that it dropped by the wayside a lot over the years. I used to read a ton, and I've read less and less because I read rule books. And this year I had a goal of trying to read a lot more books. I set myself a goal of 12 non-fiction books, 12 fiction books, and like 6 non-fiction. I think I'm probably at like 7 or 8 non-fiction. Like that one I'm kind of about where it's at. And in terms of fiction, I've read dozens and dozens of books this year. I put reading back into my schedule. I got myself a Kobo, it's like a Kindle, and I started making it a habit to try to read like 20-30 minutes a day, often while eating lunch or something like that, and it's been so great to get back into books. I now have like a TBR, a whole reading list, and all that stuff. I'm so much more into books than I have been in a long time. I've gotten a ton of reading in, and I'm thrilled with how this has gone. I love reading. I love it. I love too many things, and I don't have enough time for it all, but I'm very happy with how the reading has gone. I wanted to do more collaboration videos. I did not do so. Collaboration videos are tough because the tricky part is, in person, I am always down for anything like that, and that's always great. But over the internet kind of videos isn't totally my jam. And I don't know what I have to watch the resolution video again to see what my goal was for myself, but ultimately I've mostly failed in this one as well. It hasn't happened. Again, I kind of want to put it as a resolution for next year, but I have to be realistic about what is achievable, and am I actually taking steps to achieve those things, or is it just a hopeful wish list? Because I don't want the hopeful wish list category. I want things that I'm actually going to take steps to achieve. And then lastly, I want to be more consistent about keeping a gratitude journal. This one started off slow. I actually did not end up being very consistent. A gratitude journal is the concept where every day, ideally, I try to write down 3 things I'm grateful for. It could be a new food I ate that day. It could be I really enjoyed a new game. It could be I had a great time playing a game with one of my kids. It could be anything. Anything I want. I painted a room that I've been pushing off. Whatever it is. Like, for example, right now, like this set over here, I've gotten the lights kind of more where I want them. My first video in the set was kind of dark, and I set the lights up, and I could put that, got the new set up with the lighting the way I want it, or at least closer to the way I want it. Whatever it is 3 things that you're grateful for each day. I find it's a good opportunity to reflect on the good that is happening to you, because there's often so much good that happens that we move past. And it's something that I've always had as a thing that I do, but I've very rarely been consistent about it. And last year started off slow as that in that sense as well. As much as this was a resolution, it wasn't until I started doing that vlog series. Like if you watch that vlog series, while staying off social media was not consistent. It kind of went away after. I have been very, very consistent at keeping a gratitude journal this past year. It's something that I do almost every single day at this point. I have brought it into I brought it from thing I want to do into a habit. This one was a smashing success as well. So overall, I didn't do the full count on that, but I think I got around half of these, maybe another half as one as far as the, what was the last one? Buy more books, collaborations, no chaos streams, nope, don't know. I have to go look through them. But I've done a bunch of these, so I'm overall happy with how my resolutions have gone, and it has me excited to do resolutions for 2026, hopefully with even greater intent as far as how I execute on those. That is my 2025 year in review. It's been a good year overall. I'm very happy with how the year has gone. There's been a bunch of other things I debated putting into it, like small stupid things, like again, even things like painting rooms that I've been pushing off. There's been a lot of progress that I've made, both around the house, in my life, the things I want to do, my health, my happiness. It has been an overall good year, with steps forward and steps back, which is always to be expected, but more steps forward than steps back. In any case, and until next time, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co. I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, I hope you have a good one.